Rise with India podcast on ET Now.
Good morning and thanks for listening in. Happy Monday to you. This is the daily morning update from ET Now and I'm Alex Matthew. Today is the 12th of July. In the top news, India has said that it is closely monitoring the security situation in Afghanistan and has evacuated the Indian staff from its consulate in Kandahar as a temporary measure. The Taliban have increased their advance, gaining control over new areas around the southern city of Kandahar after the US sped up its withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan following 2 decades of war. Meanwhile, Afghan security forces, with the help of airstrikes, repelled an assault by Taliban fighters on the provincial center of a key northern province bordering Tajikistan on Sunday, according to officials. Insurgents have made a fresh push to gain territory in recent weeks, emboldened by the departure of foreign forces. Members of the Taliban said on Friday that the insurgent group had taken control over 85% of Afghan territory. The Afghan government, meanwhile, dismissed that assertion as propaganda. Moving on, the Economic Times has reported that the Tata Group may ask for an indemnity clause in the Air India privatization deal in order to protect itself from unexpected claims, even as it intensifies due diligence on the government-owned airline. The clause is expected to be inserted in the final transaction contract, given the possible risks arising from recent claims filed by Devas Multimedia and Cairn Energy, seeking to seize Air India's overseas assets. In international news, China's Commerce Ministry has said that Beijing firmly opposes what it called Washington's unreasonable suppression of its companies after the US added 23 Chinese entities to an economic blacklist. According to a statement from the ministry, China will take necessary steps to protect its legitimate interests, but it did not elaborate. In other news, China has proposed new rules that would require nearly all companies seeking to list in foreign countries to undergo a cybersecurity review, a move that would significantly tighten oversight over its internet giants. Companies holding data on more than 1 million users must now apply for cybersecurity approval when seeking listings in other countries because of the risk that such data and personal information could be affected, controlled and maliciously exploited by foreign governments, according to the Cyberspace Administration of China, which said this in a statement on Saturday. British billionaire Richard Branson flew into space on Sunday aboard a Virgin Galactic vessel, a voyage he described as the experience of a lifetime and one he hopes will usher in a new era of lucrative space tourism. The VSS Unity spaceplane detached from a carrier aircraft high over New Mexico and reached a speed of Mach 3 on its way to an altitude of more than 86 kilometers above the Earth. Later this month, Amazon.com founder Jeff Bezos plans to fly on a rocket made by Blue Origin, his space venture. In sports, Italy won the European Championship for the second time by beating England 3-2 on penalties on Sunday. The match finished 1-1 after extra time, and this brings heartbreak for England, which has now failed to win a major title for half a century. And with that, it's over to Rohit Singh for the trade setup for the day in India. Morning, Rohit. How are we looking at the start of the week?
Good morning, Alex. We are entering this week with Nifty below 15,700. So is the panic subsiding or could we head into more turbulence? The chart patterns of technical experts suggest upside could be limited, but we're still not below levels that'll trigger a deeper correction or profit booking. The India VIX is below 13 and call options are suggesting upside may be capped at 16,000 or 15,800. FPIs have dumped shares worth about 2,200 crore rupees in the first 7 days of July. On Friday, foreign investors net sold shares worth about 1,100 crore rupees, while domestic institutional investors were marginal net buyers. On Friday, Wall Street managed to set aside renewed concerns over Delta variant and closed at record highs. Asia's higher today, but will be tracking news flow around the COVID situation. Japan and South Korea are bringing back some restrictions. Let's now tell you about the active stocks this morning. DMart has reported below estimate margin and profit growth hampered by restrictions in April and May. Reserve Bank has given nod to small finance bank and holding companies to merge. Ujjivan and Equitas are expected to benefit from the move. ET is reporting that Vodafone India is seeking to raise up to $3 billion from private equity Apollo Global. Outsourcing experts are saying Indian IT will benefit immensely with the latest executive order by Biden administration to increase competition. Shyam Srinivasan has been reappointed as the MD and CEO of Federal Bank for another 3 years. Clear Science and GR Projects IPO both closed with robust investor demand. To recap, watch out for inflation and industrial output numbers this week if they instill any doubt. Earnings will now gather momentum and the 9,000 crore rupees Zomato IPO will open on Wednesday. That's all from my end. Wish you all a profitable day ahead. Thank you, and it's back to you, Alex.
Thanks, Rohit. And as always, thank you all for listening in. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a great week ahead.
The Rise with India podcast on ET Now.